friends our last 2 days in France and in Paris. We went to the Catacombs that sit under Paris. They go for miles and miles and miles. They are full of millions of bones, skulls and bones, and it's freezing down there, but it's so cool and so much history and so much death, which, you know, is kind of my thing, but the way the bones are arranged was really cool. And then after this, we went and had the best dessert I've ever had. It was like a meringue with some fruit and some creme brulee. So the next day, we got ready to go to Versailles. I was really excited for this. We saved our last day to go to this magnificent palace. Every single room was incredible. Of course, my favorite rooms were always the ones that had books in them. The library rooms are always my favorite. Every hallway, every room, just everything was absolutely beautiful. The rugs, the drapes. Here's another incredible library. This is actually kind of more my speed, the little small libraries. But so much of this was still so perfectly intact. It was absolutely beautiful. And the flooring was beautiful. This is a portrait of Marie Antoinette. This, I believe, was one of Marie Antoinette's beds. This is the chapel that Marie Antoinette and King Louis got married in. Absolutely stunning. Of course, we had to take a picture in front of it because it was our honeymoon. And this was one of the main ballrooms. This was kind of in between sections of the palace. It just absolutely ridiculous. The ceilings, the paintings. This is just another of the many beautiful rooms that we saw. I think this was one of the king's rooms. We started getting into the king's chambers. This is the entrance of the Hall of Mirrors. This is probably the most famous hall in Versailles. Most people have seen this in movies. It was stunning in person. Absolutely incredibly beautiful. I can't take enough pictures of it. It was gold and it was reflective. This is just it from the other side, but just so opulent. I believe this is the king's bed, and this was one of the rooms in between the king and queen's chambers. This chandelier was just ridiculous. And this was Marie Antoinette's room. This was the room that she escaped from into the king's quarters when the revolution happened and they came and arrested them not long before she was beheaded. Absolutely beautiful. This was the Napoleon wing. We had to be very serious here because, you know, Napoleon. And the gardens were, we didn't even have time to see even half of the gardens. The grounds were absolutely huge. This was the Petite Trianon. So this was the smaller little baby palace that Marie Antoinette had made. It was kind of empty, so I got to take a few pictures just all by my lonesome. And then Marie Antoinette was obsessed with living like a peasant. So she had this like whole little peasant village made so that she could pretend to live like a peasant and get away from the fame of being the queen. It was very beautiful and peaceful, but also kind of weird. And this was our last night in Paris, so we had a feast and we were exhausted, and that was it. Thank you guys so much for watching my France honeymoon. I hope you enjoyed it. Next trip is the UK, so if you want to see more travel videos, please let me know.